So linkage and connection through stretch. And the centrifugal, or however you pronounce the word, force, rotational force, that centrifuge function creates a stretch and will, like a centrifuge, propel the blood to the extremity, spinning it to the extremity. Full breath. Feeling the feet stretch open with the inhalation. So the feet breathe. Feeling the palms stretching open, the breath, the palms breathe, centers of the palms breathing, soles of the feet breathing. And the crown, top of the head, breathing through the crown. Observe the connection, the crown and the breath. And if you're not wearing a microphone, you're welcome to slap yourself a little more, let the arms swing more. That'll make some pretty bad audio on this front. So your very most basic warm-ups become a doorway into the depths of your meditation. Any physical activity can be performed while running more or less any meditation that we would like to be working on, or any internal exploration. And feeling into the ankles, knees, hips, breathing into the hips, knees and ankles. Full, natural inhalations, full, natural exhalations. And feeling into the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists. Expansion and release. And into the spine, from the coccyx up through the atlas, allowing the combination of the movement, the stretch, and the breath to massage open the spine. Rotation, spin, and full breath. Tips of the fingers, through the tips of the toes, through the top of the head. spine, inhaling, exhaling. Okay, very nice. And palms facing each other. Suspending head from above. Observing the space in the center between the palms. Stretching into the space between the palms. Breathing in to the center, space between the palms. And focusing the will in the space between the palms. Every inhalation, drawing life force into the space between the palms. With every exhalation, allowing that life force to consolidate within the space between the palms. And keeping one hand still, we're going to slowly raise and lower the other. All the way down and all the way up. The key here is that we're very aware of the difference between when the palms are facing empty space and when they pass each other. Right? So differentiation is a key to building awareness and learning. Swiping up, swiping down, observing the difference. And reversing the still arm and the moving arm. Focusing beyond the body. Nice stretch through the palms, through the fingers. Stretch generates life force. And life force, as it saturates the tissue, will generate stretch. Okay, palms facing each other. Awareness on the space between the palms. Breathing into that space. Stretching into that space. That's it, focusing on the energy. Now rolling small circles with the hands, turning small circles, really observing that space between the palms and any sensations you might feel. You might notice that there's a magnetic type of quality, like when you start to push two magnets together. And you may notice that the hands naturally want to circle faster or a little slower. Follow the energy. And stilling the circle, palms facing each other. Every inhalation drawing energy into the space between the palms, stretching into the space between the palms, focusing the will. A nice stretch through the fingers, the hands, linking the body. Notice on the inhalation, the more connected the body becomes with the energy, the more the whole body is moved by the breath. Okay, every inhalation, drawing energy into the space between the palms, sphere between the hands. And every exhalation, condensing that energy. Allowing the hands to press just a little closer together as you condense. And when you inhale, leaving the hands in place. As you exhale, condensing the energy, squeezing it just a little more with the hands. Inhaling, leaving the hands in place. Increasing the pressure, the density of the life force between the palms. And now we're going to alter our mental space. So we're going to take the awareness and transition it from the space between the palms into the field around us, about an arm's span in every direction. Making that transition, observe the difference as you continue to breathe the life force into the space the awareness inhabits, which is this life force field surrounding the body, about an arm span in every direction. What changes do you notice in the body, in the mind, in the energy itself? Any physical, emotional, psychological discomfort you may be experiencing, we dissolve into the energy itself. As you release those stagnations, that space is opened and filled with life force. And returning the space of the mind, the attention, to the sphere between the hands. Focus, breathing into the space between the palms, stretching into the space between the palms. What are the changes you observe in the physiology, in the energy? Consolidating that energy in the space between the palms, stretching into, breathing into that space, and opening the space up back into the field. The field of which the body is a part. Notice the changes. And now from the field, condensing the space back to the sphere between the palms. And now, just with the mind, we're going to transfer the location of awareness in this small sphere from the space between the palms into the lower abdomen, lower dantian. Notice any differences you perceive as the mental space changes location. Stretching into the lower dantian, lower abdomen. Breathing into this new space. Consolidating the attention, the currency, the current of your attention, the lower abdomen. And with the mind raising that space, that energy up to the solar plexus, consolidating the life force. Observe that energy becoming brighter. And from the solar plexus, opening up the space back into the field. And at this point, if you think you'll be able to stay warm enough, you're welcome to sit down. It's up to you. If you don't have a chair, you can keep standing. Okay, and consolidating the energy, the life force back into the solar plexus. And from the solar plexus, radiating that energy back out through the field. Notice any differences. Now with the inhalation from the field, we observe the life force flowing through the nose, spinning through the sinuses as it's drawn into the depths of the lungs and returned back out through the nose into the field. Sustaining a stretch through the palms, through the fingers. This will aid in your connection, which will aid in your generation of the energy. Observe any hiccups that might be arising in relation to the smooth flow of the life force into the depths of the lungs. Any tension, habitual tensions you might observe within the process of the breath, we dissolve into the field of the life force. allowing for the free flow of the breath. Drawing with it life force. If your hands are cold, you can try this, stretching the thumbs into the palms and stretching the fingers around the thumbs. Not contracting a squeeze, but stretching through the tips of the fingers, through the tips of the thumb. The fingers can fully encircle the thumb, they can be touching, but we want to be stretching. So you're welcome to play with that as well. Surrendering the breath itself, the source of the breath, the rhythms of breathing, life, to the life force, this vital energy itself. And a very soft question, background, from where does the breath arise? Surrendering this question into the life force field. Moment by moment, surrendering habits, the illusions of breath into the life force. From where does the breath originate? What is a primordial breath? Surrendering this question into the energy, into the life force field. Every inhalation, that life force is drawn in. And now, every exhalation from the solar plexus, radiating the life force back out through the flesh, through the blood, all the tissues, nerve complexes, fluids of the body, back out through the skin, hair follicles, back into the feet. Every inhalation, drawing energy, in through the lung. Every exhalation, radiating this life force back through the feet. What is the origin of the primordial breath? Surrendering this question into the life force. As it washes in, this vital energy washing in and washing out. Now, any perception that might still exist of the lungs, of the body, we dissolve these perceptions into the life force, into the field of life force. The life force washing in through the field, which includes the body and all its components, in through the depths of the solar plexus on the inhalation, and washing out through all the components of the body, back out through the field. Washing, breathing in through the solar plexus, that life force energy. Exhaling it back out through the field. Core breathing. Feel the breathing, this life force, this vital energy itself. Any cohesions, constrictions, dissolving those spaces, inflated by the life force as it washes through. Washing in, washing out. From within the space of this breathing, fluxing field of energy, it breathes, expands, contracts, and flows, just as the sun. Observe any stagnancies, any points of contrast or tension that might arise within the perceptions of the physical body. Any pains, discomforts, stagnancies, tension, habitual points of holding, any inflammation, washing this harmony, this harmonious life force, washing in, washing out. And these points of contrast, separation, we dissolve these into the life force. As we do so, the life force rushes in, filling, inflating, permeating. The perception of these areas dissolving into the life force field, floating within this field of energy. It washes in and washes out. And if you like, you're welcome to keep the palms facing each other to help keep your internal circuits connected. The specifics of my own posture and workings are related to the space and to you guys. So if you want to feel and work with your own body, your own posture, your own energy, emotions and mind, there's absolutely no need to copy my own. This is about you. Your own perceptions, awareness, and the space underneath all of it. Observing this field of life force. And very softly now, any awareness of any contractions, discomforts of the emotional body, any densities you might become aware of, habitual forms that take on the illusory name of an emotion. You dissolve these constraints into the life force. The habitual forms that energy may have taken, often given the name of a specific emotion, these forms dissolve, allowing the life force to wash in through the field, through any emotional quality, stagnation, and washing out with the breath. Washing in, washing out. Breathing in harmony, balance through the emotional system. Those of you who've done retreats with me, you can be balancing, breathing, and harmonizing the elements. Observing as all these old habitual forms, shapes, and habits of emotional perception, reactivity dissolve. The space filled by, permeated, saturated with harmonious energy, life force. The quality of stillness, of silence, deepening. Harmonious silence, washing in, washing out. And very softly becoming aware of any residual stagnancies, perspectives of the mind, habits of thought, of view, perspective, habitual shapes of the mind. Observing and dissolving these barriers into the life force field, this vital energy as it washes in, as it washes out. With every breath saturating, it becomes saturated more fully in a more refined way by this life force, this spark of life. from beyond any constraints of habitual meaning and perception, surrendering into the life force field. What is the source of the primordial breath? Letting go. Any and all perceptions of body, emotion, and mind dissolve fully into this ebbing, flowing, fluxing field of vital energy. The field, which is us, breathing this spark of life force. With every breath of this flowing field, the life force grows brighter. Brighter light, spark becoming more brilliant with each breath. The space of this field saturated by this light, brighter and brighter. This light, this spark, the vital energy itself. The light permeates, saturates the field, through and around us, washing in, washing out, arm's width in each direction. The life force, this light consolidating within the field, growing brighter. Any darkness, stagnancy, density, the light touches, dissolves, replaced by this bright light, harmony, purpose. From where does the primordial breath arise? Surrendering the question into the light. There's no above, no below, no left, no right, no forward, no backward. Any and all perception that may still be differentiating that which is within and that which lies all about, dissolving in to this field of light, of life force. Washing through. And palms facing each other very clearly. A nice stretch through the spine, stretch through the fingers, stretch through the feet. With every inhalation, you keep the palms in their respective positions, facing each other. With every exhalation, we're going to close the palms towards each other just an inch or so. As we do this, we're going to begin condensing this light through the field, through the skin, through the flesh, the fluids, the nerves, the blood, plasmas, the joint fluids, the cartilages, through the lattice networks of the bone, in through the depths of the bone marrow. Every inhalation, drawing more and more light, life force, this light of life force in through the body. Every exhalation condensing more of this bright light in through the depths of the bones. With every breath, that light in the bones gets brighter, brighter. Continuing, consolidating this light, sealing it in to the depths of the bone. It's brighter still. Condensing more. The palms getting closer and closer together until they touch. Getting closer and closer and closer and closer. Squeezing this light in through into the depths of the bones. Brighter, brighter, brighter. Closer and closer. Allowing the fingertips to touch. The palms to come together, touching, forming the prayer mudra. Condensing the light. Fingers touching now, palms touching now. Observe the consolidated light. And raising the fingers to the brow. Internally expressing gratitude. Gratitude for the directions in life you would like this light, this energy to flow. Harmony, health, strength, resilience, synchronicity and purpose. Easy joy, happiness, and any other directions that may show themselves to you. As we express gratitude from the depths of the bones, radiating this light back out in through the field, connecting universally. And from a place of deep stillness and equanimity, opening the eyes and returning to the body, to the space here when you're ready. And if you're interested in training, please check out the website. We have a Tai Chi program, a Qi Gong, Hermetic Magic and Meditation program, and a Q&A video reference library where I get videos up for any questions you might have on the content. And also, if you're interested in in-person training, I offer private coaching, and we have a 16-day retreat coming up in June 2025 here in